Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to Glitter Gel Pen.
Episode 13. I'm Jill.
I'm Alyssa, and we're 13. I mean, that's crazy.
That's a lot. That's a lucky number if you're a Swiftie.
It is. And if you're not...
It still is.
It still is.
So whatever you say, we don't care.
So what is going on with Jill this week?
I do have a story.
Okay.
I don't know if I should tell this on the pod. So, I partake in gummies sometimes that
Okay.
that help you go to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
They make you feel funny gummies?
Sure, yeah. But yeah, so I took some. Well, I took a fourth of one the other day.
Okay.
And I started to feel a lot of things. They were scary.
Okay.
And I was not a fan. And I had never had this happen before, but I woke up the next morning feeling hungover.
Okay.
Like I had been out drinking the night before. And I was so confused. I had to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how am I going to do this?
Were you still feeling the gummy?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I was just like at work, zoned out, like just really focused in, dialed in on what I was doing. And I was like, why is this still lingering here?
Yeah.
What is this? I was so confused because that just has never happened before.
I had one experience where I was out the night before and I was partaking in fun little activities and I went out to dinner with my family like for lunch the next day and I could not stop laughing. Like everything was hilarious to me and my brother just looks at me and he goes, "Are you high?" And I was like, "Am I? I shouldn't be."
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like I am right now. I don't know what that was.
It was weird and I wasn't a fan of it. And like still, it's like now that my age is getting kind of up there, like if I go out drinking, we're going to be recovering for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel from this. It was a fourth of a gummy. Like
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm thankful today that I am normal again.
That's good.
Yeah.
We're glad that you're back.
Yeah.
Back down here on Earth.
I'm back on Earth, baby. Hello.
Well, I know that you were going to go to the circus last weekend. I know that you added in a tidbit, like a voiceover, but I need to hear about the robot dog.
Okay, yeah, there was a robot dog. It was giving Robo Dog.
Mm-hmm.
You remember those things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted one. I never had one, but I always wanted one.
Yeah, it was giving that. It was like, and there's one specific one that we looked up after we left, and it was like $2,900 or something.
How big is the dog?
It's like... It's kind of tall, but the length of it is like as if it's a weenie dog, but it's like taller.
And what was it doing in the circus?
It was just...
Yeah.
It had moves, baby.
Okay.
It was just...
But there were no animals?
None. No animals, no real dogs, just one robo dog.
Interesting.
And the rest of the thing was, it's pretty much Cirque du Soleil.
I was going to say that's what it would be, but in a circus tent.
Yeah. And it was like, it's like Cirque du Soleil, but not quite as good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I get removing the animals because like they could have been being treated bad or whatever, but it's like not the same. Like the circus isn't the circus without animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like without the animals and then basically just doing Cirque du Soleil, it's like you might as well go to Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah,
and sit
especially
in a comfy little theater.
Yeah, because Cirque du Soleil is like even better because they're like constantly doing something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The circus was a lot of filler acts, so like someone would be doing something crazy, like
Is
they
it
would.
for kids?
I mean, yeah, they make the filler acts like kiddie, you know, like they'll be in all bright colors, like walking around doing funny things in the ring, you know?
Yeah,
like,
okay.
So there's a lot of filler though, where the like really cool acts are like kind of few and far between, I feel. So yeah, Cirque du Soleil is just better, but it was a good time and I got free tickets and so we went and had fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I learned something new because I thought that still animals were in the circus and they are not.
I'm glad that we protested the animals out of there, I guess.
Yeah, in our last episode, they did it in a week, you know?
Yeah.
Changed it. It was thanks to us.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been just working a lot at my desk alone. And I've gotten into this habit since we've like started talking about this idea that we have, where I have this playlist of like 2010 like club bangers pretty much. And so like I'll be like 9 hours into sitting at my desk and I'm like, if I don't listen to Sean Kingston, I'm going to crash out. So I start playing Shawty is a eeny, meeny, miny, mo lover. But the Justin Bieber edition,
yeah,
of course. And I just have been having moments with that. And then if I get in the car, Pitbull is on. I just like, I'm just in this, like, I can't stop.
Yeah.
I can't stop listening to it.
I was like that last week, honestly, playing the playlists. And then, I don't know, something about this week, I just feel somber. I feel like I'm bringing it down a little bit. Yeah, really. Maybe it hasn't worn off. Who knows?
That's good though. Yeah, we were texting about it last night, and a big part of like the New Year's resolutions were to be healthier. And I've been like the opposite. I've been so much worse than I was even just like in December. And I'm like, if I don't take care of myself better, I feel like I can feel I won't have done anything physical all day and I'll lay in bed and ache.
Yeah.
So that's not good. But
I'm literally always tired. I'm chronically fatigued. Like always. I could wake up in the morning after sleeping 12 hours and 2 hours later I literally could go take a nap.
I feel like exercising would help. Like
that's what they all say.
I really do believe that though.
Yeah.
I believe that.
It does hype you up.
I know that I need to, because whenever I'm working like this, I'm just sitting there.
Oh, do you want your palette?
Yeah,
okay.
thanks.
Repping Kylie Cosmetics.
When Jill got here and we were about to record, I realized I forgot to put makeup on. So I threw some on real quick. But this palette, this very palette, I've had it for 7 years or so.
Oh, that's probably not.
Well, it's fine, Jill. I don't throw shit away.
Okay.
But this palette, I got a whole like set of Kylie Cosmetics from one of my dad's YouTube viewers in the mail. Mm-hmm. Someone like sent him a whole kit of Kylie stuff for me, and so that's where this came from.
Okay, so if you're here now,
yeah,
she's using it still.
I
7
really
years
doubt.
later.
I doubt they're one of our 130 something subscribers, but I mean, thank you if you're watching. And yeah, that is you.
Not the 130 something subscribers. Okay.
We have been slow growing in the last week. If y'all don't subscribe,
we'll take this moment. Subscribe now, please.
Our first hot topic is important to me. I've never been a big Wendy Williams fan, but what is happening to her right now is crazy.
I was looking into it. It's like some Free Britney stuff.
Yeah. So in November of 2024, she had a conservatorship that had started. She had a lot of health issues or whatever. She obviously has a lot of money. She's been like in the public eye and everything just for so many years.
And had her own show.
Yeah, had it for so long. Well, in November of 2024, her guardian came out with a statement that said that she was, and this is quoted, cognitively impaired and permanently incapacitated.
Yeah, and so therefore she was put in a conservatorship, correct?
They said she had been diagnosed with dementia and it was like very far gone.
Yeah. I looked up like what needed to happen in order for someone to be a conservator for somebody, because I was just like, can anybody just like do this for any reason? Because, you know, a big reason for her would be that she's so rich and then they have control of her money, you know? And it says you have to file a petition in the court where Wendy would reside, proving, you know, a medical reason and whatever. And then you were talking about her medical reasons. I had looked them up, and dementia just doesn't seem like it's something that she really has.
I know. If you've had experience with people with dementia, at least my experience is they're not home, like in any way. So whenever they came out and said that she had dementia, like I was like, dang, that's like normally the end for people, because it's so crazy that like in the women that I've known that have had it, they will mentally just check out from even like wanting food. And that's typically, unless they fall or get hurt, like a lot of times their lack of energy, their like inability to rest, they're just not having a normal brain cycle. So like it kills them.
Yeah.
So this past week, her niece, I think her name is Alex. Did you watch Adam's video?
Yes.
Okay. I think the niece that coordinated it, her name is Alex. Well, her niece coordinated a phone call with Wendy on the Breakfast Club podcast. And they had this really long discussion where Wendy basically explained what her scenario was. She called it a luxury prison. And she said that all the people on her floor are like so crazy. Like she just like stays in her room like cooped up because she doesn't think like these people. Like she's just not in the same place that they are. So the interview happened because her niece coordinated it, and Wendy came on and was just explaining her situation. She was talking about like current events. She was talking about her scenario, but her biggest argument was just that she wanted to go see her dad for his 94th birthday in Florida next month, and her guardian was acting like that wasn't a possibility for her. So they were like going back and forth and talking all this time, and I think my biggest like thing that I took away from it, where I was like, dang, like she started crying because she was like worried that her doing the interview would have like repercussions from her guardian.
I'm exhausted thinking about what if I can't see my dad for his birthday? You know, at 94, you know, the day after that is not promised. It's not promised. You know, I have things from my dad that's in storage. And there are little things that I say, you know, I'm not going to give it to him, but I'm going to sew them and make them so that they look perfect on me. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I know how to sew. I've known how to sew for years. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, like, I want to give my dad some sort of fragrance. You know, I want to go to Sephora and pick and choose. What? Right now, my life is like up.
Yeah.
And
And like it make the conservatorship even worse, and they might like take her phone rights away from her, and people have a hard time even going to see her. So she's like completely secluded and isolated. Like that would make anyone go crazy.
Yeah, like it's like they're trying all the things to make her go crazy so they can say, see, she needs to be in the conservatorship.
Right.
Like,
and she spoke, I think the podcast was like, it was maybe just under an hour. And I mean, maybe she has a way where she's like okay or not okay, but it just seems so crazy that they like can deem her not fit to take care of herself, even though what her niece was arguing was that they won't do another exam on her to see if she may be okay to come out of this conservatorship or at least leave the facility. Like they won't even let her go to her house in Florida to like be with her family.
Yeah,
that's what I don't understand.
And like listening to her, it doesn't even, I would never even guess that there was any mental health issues like going on with her, to the point especially where you would have to be in a conservatorship. It's crazy.
Locked away in a room. Like
Yeah.
you would think someone with health issues would be in their home where they're comfortable, where they say verbally that they want to be over and over, and be surrounded by their family that cares about them.
Yeah, but these people obviously, whoever's the conservator, like they just want her money because they're not helping her live a good life in any kind of way. And I saw, it's so crazy that they have a GoFundMe like to get money in order to like fight this. And it's like she shouldn't even have to have a GoFundMe.
She has so much money.
She has so much money, but she has no control of it.
Yeah.
And so therefore they have to make their own right now, the family, so that they can fight this. That's so insane.
Yeah. So, okay. So yeah, there's the GoFundMe, which is crazy because Wendy just has so much money. And she was talking about like luxury items to her right now are like nail polish and a hairbrush.
Yeah.
She is Wendy Williams.
I can't imagine.
No. And
like,
I feel like she's so like out of touch with even who she is, because she's in this scenario where she's such like a victim in a way, even though Wendy is like that bitch, you know? Like I don't, it's not a phrase that I say that often, so it felt really uncomfortable, like that bitch.
Yeah, no, but she is. She like had her show and they're like, Wendy, and now she's just in a room with like nail polish on occasion.
Yeah, and she like changed a lot with like the talk show history and everything. But another thing that I thought was crazy was she was saying that the doctors like at the facilities like give her pills and stuff, and like she tries to just be like, what is this for? They won't explain anything to her, like just not answering any questions. And Wendy came out like a long time ago, whenever she had her son, that she had a thyroid problem, and I don't know the details of what that is or whatever, but she was super public about it. I guess it made pregnancy hard, and she's had the same doctor since then. Well, the guardian is not letting her see the doctor that she has seen and knows her and her medical history for all these years for whatever reason, and like she just wants to continue seeing the same doctor that she's seen a majority of her life.
And I think we can make a wild guess as to why, you know?
Yeah, because like they're trying to control like the substances going into her body and like
and they're trying to control the diagnosis.
Yeah, and probably
well.
giving her things that she doesn't need.
Yeah, and they want to control that diagnosis, have a doctor that's gonna side with them and what they need in order to keep her in the conservatorship.
Yeah,
like
I used to have a fear of like hitting a pedestrian with my car and going to jail and like killing someone. This is the fear, because it's like you reject the medication from the doctor and they're like, well, you're unwell. That is a scary movie.
If you're and you're like, I'm not taking that, I'm not crazy, they're like, oh yes you are.
Yeah,
like
and I feel like her like going on this podcast and making this really public statement about it and like saying all this information, she knows that she's probably going to be punished in some way, or it's going to get worse or more lockdown, but like this is like her last call out because she wants to go to her dad's freaking birthday.
That's so sad.
Yeah, like she was willing to risk any amount of freedom that she had to go do that, and that is just awful. Like no one is like, I haven't even seen that many people talking about it. We don't know the specifics of like her diagnosis, and like I said, maybe she does have waves where she's okay or she's not okay, but whether she's like cognitively impaired or not, she was okay for this hour. And if she wants to go home and like she's Wendy Williams, she can afford in-home care, let her.
Yeah, like literally during that hour she was completely fine the whole time. So if during that hour when she's when she's fine, she's saying what she wants, that's obviously like, you know, like I don't know how to explain it, but it would be the equivalent of like sober thoughts. Like it's not like you were drunk or on something and you said whatever. It's like that's her clear thinking, like what she wants to do.
Yeah, and it was scary because like anytime, like, is it Charlemagne? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Anytime he would like ask a question, Wendy is obviously in like a legally binding document of some kind with the guardianship to where she can't say certain things or something, because she would be like, Alex, talk, because like Alex knows the ins and outs of the scenario, and Wendy probably isn't legally allowed to say certain stuff, but Alex would say stuff and like kind of explain like a worse version of what Wendy's was allowed to say in that moment. And like it was so interesting because Wendy would be like, Alex, say something, and it was just so sad. And it's just scary that like someone so powerful could end up in that scenario, and it's like a woman of like, it just, I hate it.
There needs to be, just from after the conservatorship with Britney Spears, how that was horrible, and then this, there needs to be like bigger quotas or like things that you have to hit to make you be in a conservatorship.
Yeah, and one thing that I think would make sense is a doctor to evaluate someone like every 30 to 45, like if it's someone especially that can afford it, like an evaluation every so many days from a completely non-biased doctor to ensure that they're, you know, able or they should still be in this scenario, because like that's the issue, is like the guardian has control over the doctors they see and everything, whereas it's like you should have a completely unbiased party looking at this person and like evaluating them professionally.
Yeah.
But how do you control that? Like, what do you do?
Unless it was mandatory or something. But then the sad thing is that a lot of people that aren't Wendy Williams or Britney Spears can't afford to keep getting the reevaluation.
They were even talking about that. They were like, you know, she is Wendy Williams, so like we can do this interview and like get the word out about her and like try to help. She was like, but there's so many people that like are not in her position, and like Wendy was talking about this, and it's like, that is so sad. And we can link the interview in the YouTube description, because like I think that more people like need to know about it. And if you listen to the conversation, Wendy was crying. Like,
she's very upset.
Yeah,
and
like,
rightfully so.
It's so sad. And like her niece, like, just, I can't imagine watching someone that you care about go through that and knowing that they have like all this money and they have control of all that money, and it's like someone who's just built themselves up their entire life to like be sitting somewhere. She's been in, I don't know if we said this, but she has been in there for 3 years.
Yeah.
And one of the girls from the Breakfast Club said that she went to go try to visit her, and like they gave her such a hard time on like who she was and like why she was coming in there. And it's like, in what world would you go visit someone in a healthcare facility and people be questioning what you're doing there?
It's like, I'm here to visit.
Yeah, and like she was on the list of people that could come visit, so what is the problem?
Yeah. And Wendy said, she was like, is that how it is all the time? And she was like, yeah, it's that way for anybody in my family to come see me, anybody. It's like difficult. I keep going back to her dad. Like, just imagine, he's 94. It's his 94th birthday. Like
3 years away from him already.
Yeah. And she's like, she's got to be thinking, like, cooped up in there. She's like, I want to see my dad. And also, like, what if this is his last birthday? Like, he's getting older, you know? And
94.
Like, yeah. Like, that's so sad that someone would be keeping you away from that.
I think if there's any links about it, how how I guess like the public could help. Like I could put that on there too, because I know there is the GoFundMe to try to help. I don't remember exactly what they said they were raising money for. Do you remember?
No.
Was it just to fight in court?
It might have been. I don't remember.
Hey girlies, I'm here to give an update. It looks like the GoFundMe is for a law firm to petition the court. And as of 1/21, it looks like they did receive enough money to put a $20,000 retainer, and it will be submitted through the GoFundMe. So, yay, Wendy.
We'll put some resource links for Wendy Williams in the description.
Yeah,
but
free Wendy.
Free Wendy. Trish talked about it in their episode, and I expected Trish to like go in on it because I learned about the Breakfast Club interview from Adam. He did the reaction to it, and he's like a huge Wendy Williams fan. Well, I learned about it from that, and then Trish was talking about it, and I really expected Trish to like go in on it, and she was like, well, she seemed fine for that like period of time, and she didn't really say anything else. And I was like, not that it's on Trish to like start the Free Wendy movement, but I was just surprised.
Yeah, she does have a big platform to talk about it, but she probably didn't know about it.
I know. And I was talking to someone, and they were telling me, I was like, did you hear about Wendy Williams? And they were like, yeah, I heard that she like spoke out about P. Diddy, because you know in that interview she spoke about P. Diddy for a second. They were just like, what are your thoughts on that or whatever.
You got fired from Hot 97 years ago because of Diddy. All these years later to see where Diddy currently is. What do you feel about that situation?
Hey, when I watch TMZ and I see the stuff that goes on, I'm like, oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden I see me on TMZ. You know what I'm saying? It's really weird seeing me on TV when I'm caught in this position. You know what I'm saying? The other day I was watching Cookout, and there I am in the first opening scene. I was like, oh my God. Season 1, episode 13, there I am on Martin. You know what I'm saying? And as far as Diddy will go to prison for life, people. You don't know things that I knew about Diddy back in the day, and you want to know what? It's about time, people. It is about time. Diddy done.
And I was like, you heard that she spoke out about P. Diddy?
Like,
I was just like, you didn't hear?
Like
that
you missed the whole topic of the interview.
So what is scary and unfortunate about like hearing that is knowing that the news picked up on the P. Diddy information and like
ran with that.
He's in like a completely different cycle of the internet than I am, and he only heard about the P. Diddy stuff. He didn't hear about the fact that like Wendy Williams is locked away and like someone is using all of her money and like she can't like go to her dad's birthday. But they heard that she spoke on P. Diddy, and all that she said about it, I guess she's like always called him out for being a weirdo, and all that she really said about it was like P. Diddy is gonna rot in prison for the rest of his life, you know?
Yeah, that's
literally all that she really said about him. But I was like, it scares me that that's the only news about that interview that you heard.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, it really like blows my mind whenever I think about it. But
so Free Wendy, we're putting links down in the description, and we're hoping she gets to go to her dad's 94th birthday party.
Yeah, and like share the Breakfast Club interview around, because it's, if you listen to it, you can't not agree with what we're saying.
Yeah. Like, also that, okay, I just want to talk about real quick.
Okay.
Before we segue into the next topic, that I didn't realize before we did this, like this podcast, that people take pop culture news like it's politics.
Yeah, people get mad, upset. They get emotionally invested in things. I didn't realize, like, no, I didn't, because I get emotionally charged sometimes when I see something, but never to the extent of like posting, commenting, responding, none of that.
Like, y'all are horrible humans. Like,
yeah, it's like
you
something
agree
I'll
with this influencer. Like,
yeah, it's something I'll send in the group chat and be like, LOL, and then like I go on about my day and I go to work.
Yeah,
like I just like that's so weird. Like people, it drives people.
It's like I didn't realize that any like different take that we might have is like people take it as if we're like repping some politician hardcore or something, you know? Like
it is so weird, and it's like all we're doing is commenting on like entertainment news.
Yeah,
it's just
like it doesn't matter in your life or ours in the grand scheme of things.
No.
This is for entertainment and fun, people.
Yeah. You need to pick up a glitter gel pen every once in a while and have a little fun.
But I just wanted to bring that up since we were on the topic. But yeah, into a lighter note, Justin Bieber, you posted a thing about Justin unfollowing Hailey.
Breaking news this Tuesday morning, Justin Bieber has unfollowed Hailey Bieber on Instagram. Justin has came out and made a statement. He claims that it was not him that unfollowed his wife on Instagram. We do not have any updates yet about who could have gotten into his account, but we have received word that he states, "Shit is getting sus out here."
Yeah, so I made that because it's kind of in the same scheme of that. It's so unserious. They just had a baby. They're married. Like, obviously, this doesn't mean any... Like, maybe it would be, like, a statement of some kind, but I just don't even think it would be that big of a deal if, like, Justin Bieber unfollowed her. But he did post, and he was like... It wasn't me that unfollowed my wife's account. Shit is getting sus out here. And who is on your Instagram account though? Like, yeah. I don't know.
And like to me, okay, again, personally, this is just my opinion.
Okay.
I think they're in a little bit of a mess right now because we had the drama that we covered before about like New Year's and the holidays. She was somewhere else and they posted the back and forth. You know, we talked about that. Then he unfollowed her and then like followed her back. And I'm like, probably because people started saying he unfollowed her, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, shit. And like has to follow her back.
Do you think he unfollowed her because he was mad about something and she called him and bitched him out?
I think so, yes. That's exactly what I think.
And he was like, that wasn't me. Shit's getting sus out here.
Yeah. To like cover his tracks.
Yeah. And
I believe so. And he did post after that happened. His next Instagram post was like a carousel and it had like pictures of him and her in there. So he's like trying to do damage control.
Yeah, and I also feel like if someone could get into your Instagram account that wasn't like someone from your team,
why would they just unfollow your wife?
They would do much worse.
Yeah.
They would do a lot worse of things. And maybe people on his team do have access to his Instagram account. And maybe the problem, like maybe someone in his team is stirring the pot.
Maybe it's all PR.
Maybe a new product is about to launch.
Maybe a new album. Maybe a new wife is about to launch.
I saw a thing that in the vein of the Biebers that also like there's some other news about Justin Bieber unfollowing people this week. So, but just about Hailey, speaking of new products and things, there was this clothing company called Rhode, spelled the same way that her skincare company was, but I guess they were both legally allowed to exist because they sold to
Whoa, what just came out of you?
I don't know. They sold completely different kinds of products. Well, I guess the Rhode clothing company had a hard time after Rhode blew up because she's so famous and whatever. So Hailey wasn't allowed to sell clothes under the name of Rhode. Well, that company just closed down and people are starting conspiracies that Hailey Bieber mean girled them into closing their company down so that she can sell merchandise.
That's a little extreme. Do I think she might be opportunistic and now that they're gone, I won't be surprised if she starts selling clothing.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's business. She either bought it, like bought them out.
She could have given them a fat check to do that.
She either bought them out or it was a coincidence and she's going to do this. You can't, out of a business, you can't just be like, you really should close down. Like, nobody's going to be like, yes, ma'am. Yes, Miss Bieber. Nobody's going to do that.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. But I just thought it was fun. People are just forever coming for Hailey Bieber to say that she's a mean girl. And speaking of, I'll find the video and send it to you to put in, but there was this video. It was so stupid. It was Kendall Jenner and Hailey Bieber. They were like eating nachos in their kitchen and they both were like dipping into this like taco guacamole sauce thing that they made, and they both like dip their chips in their little crop tops and they're just like so skinny and fit, and they take a bite and they both start going like like dancing like with the chips in their mouth, like relatable. But then like Hailey, I don't know why it made me cringe so hard. Kendall like backed up while she was like dancing with her chip, and I don't even know why I'm talking about this right now, but like Hailey reached out to Kendall and like grabbed her by her like belt, like put her finger down in her jeans and pulled her to her, and it made my skin crawl because I would just imagine us doing that to each other, and I was like, I would freak out if one of my friends put their finger in my jeans.
One thing about me and Alyssa is we don't touch.
I've got to find this video and show it to you so you can react. But the comments were like, this made me love Selena even more. And I was like, y'all are so weird.
It's literally like our next 2028, our new presidential candidates are going to be Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez. And it's going to cause just as much of a stir as this past election. All right, I'm going to react to this. Why did she do that?
I don't know. I want to see the rest of the video, but I'm just like, that's such a weird thing to do while you're eating chips.
I can't imagine being like, I need you closer to me while we chew this.
Put her finger in your cheese. I just saw that video today and like it just that randomly popped in my head. I don't know why she did that. Weird behavior, but
in other news, back to Justin, he unfollowed Scooter Braun and Usher.
Yeah, so Usher, if you haven't been a believer for as long as we have, Usher like signed Justin Bieber whenever he was super young, and this is something that like I don't like to talk about it because I feel really, really bad for Justin Bieber because I think that he's been through a lot more than the public has realized in the past, and like they gave him a really hard time growing up. But obviously he had a relationship with P. Diddy whenever he was a child. So like I can't imagine having had anything happen to me in his scenario and like the public speculating on it. Like, and especially not that it's worse for a man or a woman, but like as a man, I'm sure.
Well, because there's so much around it, like people still really, if a man ever says that they were raped or SA'd or anything like that, people have a hard time believing it. You know?
And it's like a masculinity thing. I think it's just really sad. So I hope none of that is true or whatever. But there was a point where whenever Usher was coming up, someone sent him to P. Diddy whenever he was really young, and like he did like a camp type thing with him, and like where he learned from him, shadowed him, but he was really young. And whenever Usher signed Justin, Usher did the same, like sent him off with P. Diddy.
And there's that video.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Yeah, it's just sad. So like I could see, because I also feel like Justin like found religion as he got older. I could see him coming to terms with some things about Hollywood and like wanting to distance himself from Usher, because I think Usher has had some other things come out. Maybe I could be wrong. This is all alleged anyway. I mean, we don't really know, but I could see why he'd want to unfollow Usher if any of that stuff were to be true. And Scooter Braun, he obviously isn't his manager anymore, but I think they're still on a contract right now to work together. So I think the next time that Justin releases music, I'm pretty sure Scooter is still in contract to be involved. But there will be a day where the Scooter Braun drama with Justin Bieber comes out, and I cannot wait for it.
I can't wait for a day like when Justin Bieber has a whole documentary like on his life.
I know.
He has, obviously back in the day, he has that Never Say Never documentary, like concert movie or whatever.
But it was so like surface level. Yeah. That was weird.
Yeah. Let me pull you closer real quick.
Two people that talk to each other 24 hours a day say the same word. That's surprising.
But yeah, I need a full documentary like about his life at this moment now.
He's so interesting. And I don't know why, but the other week I was watching that Pop Star music video. It's the Drake song, but Justin Bieber's doing it.
Oh, he looks so good in that.
That's one of my favorite music videos ever made. Yes. And like, I am not a fan of Scooter Braun. Like, I stand with Taylor Swift forever and always. But like, Scooter Braun being in that video as a manager is like everything. Like, the whole concept of the video is so cool to me. Yeah, so I think Justin's just like trying to publicly like address that he's like kind of done with like the previous things that he was involved in the industry. And I just want to know what happened between him and Scooter Braun, because Ariana Grande had a horrible experience with Scooter Braun like working with him wise, and then Demi Lovato and Justin Bieber, all three of them dropped him at the same time.
I think I heard that he was not taking on management anymore for talent. Like he's doing something else. He's pivoting.
I feel like he's so scummy that like he would do that to start cleaning up his trail before something comes out about him.
Yeah.
Because like he is a not good person.
No, like we could have a deep dive on Scooter Braun.
We should.
Yeah.
And we could get a cease and desist. He sends those out.
Oh my God. We could get a cease and desist.
If I got one of those from him, I would frame it.
I would act like it was an autographed like picture.
Yeah, like because I saw that the Swiftologist like made a video about like the Scooter Braun versus Taylor Swift thing, and he got one. So yeah. I think we could do it.
I think we could get a cease and desist. So keep a watch out. Everybody subscribe so that you can follow us for the journey. Scooter Braun, I wish you nothing but a horrible life. Okay.
So the next topic, I'll just do the It Ends With Us thing.
Okay, while we're on the topic of horrible men.
Yeah. So we'll stay in the category of horrible men for a few minutes.
Okay.
So this was so weird to me. Last week we discussed Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Mm-hmm. Apparently a lot of y'all don't agree with us.
Yeah, apparently it's a very controversial take and people are like, are you going to admit that you're wrong?
Yeah, like you know what? I respect that we see it differently because I think the entire thing is one PR team versus another PR team.
Yeah.
The only thing that we really said was that if Blake Lively felt that men treated her inappropriately, we stand with her.
Yeah. But that's so controversial.
Yeah. I don't know what's weird about that. But the whole scenario, other than the essay allegations, it's PR team versus PR team. And this was the funniest thing to me. So Justin Baldoni's team releases this footage that's unedited. It's like 10 minutes of Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni like dancing in a scene.
I feel so nosy.
I know.
Noses.
And my nose is so big.
Yes. I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Yeah.
And then
God.
Just kidding.
No, it's true. That's why we hired Jenny's late too. Our noses match.
Mm-hmm. The video shows nothing.
No, it's literally them acting.
It shows them acting like they are a couple. No inappropriate touching. It shows her not looking uncomfortable. It shows both sides looking like completely neutral.
Yeah.
But
they thought they did something with this.
So Justin's team put it out thinking they did something. And then Blake's team comes out and says this footage corroborates every part of her story. And I was like, what?
This corroborates no one. It looks completely normal.
Yeah,
like a normal acting couple.
If this is y'all's evidence, what on earth? It's so weird. But I thought it was interesting that Justin's team like put this out to prove something. And I'm like,
that just shows how little proof that they have.
Yes.
And that this lawsuit is what we said.
Yes.
It's to be like, look, I wouldn't be suing back if I did this. So obviously by me suing back, I didn't do it.
Yeah. And if you're in a lawsuit that you were actively pursuing, the number one thing like you will not do is put your best evidence out or evidence at all. You wouldn't publicly talk about the scenario if you're in an ongoing court case about it because like you would want to save all of your punches for the stand.
It's because he knows he's not going to win the court case.
Yes.
He wants the public.
It's about the public.
Things.
It's about the public image. Exactly. So I just think it was the craziest stupid thing because it was just giving nothing.
I saw theories. People hate Blake Lively, okay? Which given I don't like her either. I never was saying that I like Blake Lively, but I'm just saying that I'm with her in this scenario. But comments about this video footage that came out, people were like, oh yeah, she just fell in love and caught feelings for him and he did not reciprocate them and that's why she's doing this. And I mean, I saw multiple, like probably like 15 comments saying this on one video and I'm like, y'all are delusional.
This is my advice to anyone that is thinking about commenting anything. Honestly, anything. Unless you're like a glitter jelly, like welcome, we love you. But like if you watch something on the internet about strangers and you get the urge to say something, all I'm saying, don't comment it. Take a walk. Go for a walk outside.
Literally go outside, squat down, touch the grass real quick.
Put your phone down for a minute and get out of the internet just for a second and then come back and decide if you still want to say anything. Like people, it's just going back to what you said. Like, I just can't believe how fired up people are getting. Like, all we really did last week was try to cover the topic. And like I said, I don't even feel like we came out super on one side or the other than like...
I did say I was 100% Blake Lively. So, you know.
But that's because you would want to believe that if a woman is saying something happened to her, we believe her.
Yeah.
Like, that's what the internet has told us. If we don't do that, we're a problem.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so, like...
I know, it's crazy.
And another crappy man.
Another one.
Chris Brown.
Blech. Tomato.
Whenever he's, like, really still doing stuff.
Yeah.
Do y'all know who Rihanna is? Like
literally.
Like it's Rihanna. Like if a man can do what he did to Rihanna and have a career, a public career, and people support him, I have zero hope that anyone will ever. I don't know. I can't believe.
Well, we let him get away with that back in, what was it, 2008 or 2009?
Yeah.
Because when he did that and it all came out, he still performed on one of the award shows that same year.
Yeah.
After all this, like, nobody ever gave him the shit he deserved.
There was a video of him choking out another girl on a balcony like a few years ago. It came out, and like in the video, he's like on a hotel balcony choking out this girl, and her friend is there like banging on him, trying to get him to stop. And I'm like, he hasn't changed or grown. Like,
no.
So whenever I see people go to like Chris Brown concerts, that is one scenario where I'm like, I'm judging you. Even when like I'm in my 2010 clubs playlist, obviously he's got some good songs in there. I'm just like, yeah.
It's like if he comes on, I don't even want to listen to it.
Yeah.
I don't even want to give him the royalties.
No,
of that.
he's so gross. Well, he came out to sue Warner Brothers over calling him an abuser.
You are, but
I'm like,
literally, allegedly, I guess. Don't sue me.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's like, can't you like not sue someone if they're saying something about you that's true?
Yeah, well, he's suing for a documentary that Warner Brothers did.
Okay.
It was called Chris Brown, A History of Violence. And it includes allegations from a woman who, she went by Jane Doe in it, who sued Chris Brown for allegedly drugging and assaulting her at a party hosted by Diddy in 2020. This documentary, like, is pretty much really heavy on her story. So he's suing because he's saying they put out this documentary of someone giving completely false claims. So he's not saying like him as an abuser as a whole is not true, but he's saying that this isn't true.
Okay, prove it. You know, like, I'm like, okay, you sue someone to do something, and it's like, again, it's for public image. Otherwise, you wouldn't care.
Yeah.
If it wasn't true, because it's like, I just like drop a piece of evidence that shows that didn't happen.
For real, because I fully believe that it did. But he was never found guilty when she sued him. But the documentary states that he's a serial rapist and sexual abuser. And he wasn't found guilty because I think she dropped it, like, in the court or something when it was going on, which probably she was either paid off, like, because he's a man with a lot of money and a lot of power.
Yeah.
And she's just this girl who's, like, trying to sue because she was sexually abused, and he's wanting to keep it hush-hush. He probably paid her or something of that sort, and so she dropped it. So he never officially got charged with that. So he's saying this isn't true, and I'm suing Warner Brothers because they made this documentary.
Yeah, and you know, again, the whole P. Diddy scenario, I barely want to talk about it because it's like, it's just heavy and a lot and like kind of scary if you speak out against it at all. But I did think it was interesting. Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z was looped into that accusation from the woman that is now an adult, but she was 13 at the time, and said that Jay-Z essayed her. Diddy was also there, involved. I don't remember the details, but within 2 days, the woman had retracted her statement and said that she remembered it wrong. She was, I'm pretty sure she was like in her 30s when she came out and said it, and it's like, you made a public accusation 15 to 20 years after something happened, but within a couple days you realize you remembered it wrong.
Yeah, it's like the math's not mathing.
And people spoke about the accusations, but no one talked about the fact that she just like retracted her statement. And it's like, that is so scary.
Yeah,
you don't know what someone said to her.
Yeah, and you don't know if they were paid off. And like women who are paid off in these like situations, I don't blame them. You know, because it's like going to court, it's like such a legal process, a lot of money involved and whatever. And like I said, when they're men of power and money and you're not, and
it's
you
horrifying.
And you know it's going to be hard to even fight this, and they offer you money to let it just be gone, I could see why you would take it, you know?
Especially when, like, you know, we don't know that any of this is true at all, but there are so many people who have just died all of a sudden. And like, you know, whether that's related to anything or not, we will never know. But you can wonder, I guess, guess like there's been enough weird coincidences that would make me really afraid to speak out if something happened to me. Like I could speak out and raise awareness and feel threatened in some way, or I could try to suppress my feelings and like move on with my life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what would you choose?
Yeah, especially if you were getting money to do so.
Yeah, but the whole Chris Brown thing, I've never understood like why he still has fans, and like
I don't understand the fans. Like I don't get it. Like, because I can understand, like I said, when I hear him just like kind of want to skip and not like listen to him, but that's just me. Like I can understand because he has some bangers. So I can understand if someone's listening and they want to still listen to his music when it comes on or whatever.
Yeah.
But like fans who pay to go meet him or like pay to go to his concert and stuff, like why are you funding an abuser? Like,
yeah,
I
allegedly.
don't get it. Yeah, allegedly.
Even though we saw what happened.
Moving on to something fun. Addison Rae on Rolling Stone.
This gave me the confidence I needed.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I like really do love Addison Rae. Her music is all right. I really like Diet Pepsi. That is like one of my good songs. It is a good song. Of last year for sure. But whenever I saw this, the cover story, like the title of it was Addison Rae took over TikTok. Now she's coming for pop. She has not even released her album yet, and she is on the cover of Rolling Stone. And that is so crazy. And I put on here that if Addison Rae can get the kind of backing from Rolling Stone to be on the cover before her pop career has even like happened, we can like rock this podcast.
Yeah.
Like
boys and girls, you can do anything. Yeah. Okay. You just gotta live in Delulu land a little bit. Truly believe it. I was looking at some of the interview that she did, and basically she talked about, without saying his name, she talked about Bryce. And she was like, my first public relationship taught me a lot about myself. I think he cheated on me. He said he didn't.
Did Bryce say that he didn't cheat on her?
He did, but because this was this interview where she said, you know, he says he didn't, whatever, is the first time that she's mentioned or talked about that relationship since 2021. And back then, Bryce was on the BFFs podcast, and he said that he was the one who ended their relationship and he did not cheat on her. Oh. So, you know, he says he didn't. We don't know these people, so.
What do you think about Bryce Hall?
Team Bryce on God.
Well, oh!
I'm just kidding. I literally don't know about this man.
Do you think he's attractive?
Like, he's, like, I would talk to, no. Like, I would give him the time of day. Yeah. But I don't swoon over him. You know what I mean?
Swoon. I do. Like character, like personal self, like maybe he needs some growth. But like, I love him. Like, I love whatever he like does. His like, as an adult, like whenever he was younger, he was like whatever. But just as he's gotten older, I think that he's really attractive. But like, whenever he like jokingly like does his like old TikTok dances, but like as an adult, I'm like, that's good.
You're like, this does something for me. Yeah, so that's that on that. Go off, Addison. Can't wait for your pop album for you to take over pop.
Like, what? Have they heard the album? Like, did they know that it's gonna be good?
Or did they just hear Diet Pepsi and they're like, it's all like this?
I think she just has like the cool pop girl stamp of approval because she's best friends with Charlie XCX.
Oh, yeah.
And in the interview, I read the article, and the girl that wrote it, she was like, Addison picked me up from the airport in her like blacked out G-Wagon with the pink glitter tag, and there were tutus and tiaras and wigs in the back seat. And like, I'm like, she's just really cool.
Yeah.
So also this week, David Dobrik confirmed on his podcast that he's not back to vlogging full time.
I heard that. I listened to the Views podcast.
Yeah, he said that he's not back to vlogging full time. He's just like gonna put out videos whenever he has good videos, which is like, I think that's for the best. I think that's the best way he could have came back and everyone not like hate him. It'll be good for Jeff. Trisha said she had a lot of anxiety whenever David went back. Like, she thought he was just gonna be back vlogging everywhere. So, you know, it's good for everybody's mental health.
I did think it was interesting how he didn't realize that he was gonna give that impression to everybody.
Like, you know, he thought he was gonna have a good impression.
No, like how he thought, he was like, did I make it seem like I was gonna be back every week?
Yeah,
it's like you did. You made
definitely hyped it up. And I will say the video that we're working on for our next deep dive is making me think about stuff.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later. But just on the topic of David Dobrik, I've been consuming a lot of David Dobrik content in the last 2 days. So, and then Jeff came out with a podcast where he kind of spoke about David coming back. He had Mike Malak on, and whenever Mike is on there, like, there's too much bro energy
like
for me.
They're just broing out.
God, I can't. Like, it's just not.
It's like those points in time is when you realize that like Jeff is a bro. You know?
Yeah, like
he's like
extreme.
little baby Jeff most of the time for us.
Yeah,
but
extreme.
then like
when he's with
bro.
the guys, I can't be around him.
Yeah.
But no, whenever they were like talking about it, Mike was very much like, "Are you good? Like, I want to check in on you. Like, I want to know what you're doing to take care of yourself because you've been in this like low rut or whatever." And then David came out with the vlog, so I'm sure it's just like worse. And Jeff like kind of just made jokes about it, where he was like, "Yeah, he came back and he stole my body," and like Jeff had to like put on weight for his last surgery, so he's like not feeling good about himself, and like seeing David looking ripped, probably like that's Jeff's thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's like really sad, but I could definitely like hear like emotion in his voice even whenever he was like joking around about it. It's just like upsetting. I hate that like him coming back would inflict any negative feelings within Jeff, but it just shows like how much healing like inside Jeff needs to do to like feel better, and it just sucks because it's so sad.
Yeah, I really wish David would just do the right thing by Jeff.
I feel like it would go a long way with Jeff too. Like if you came out and owned every problem, like that you like just accountability. If you just took it and like admitted to not being the golden boy, like
I think Jeff would like accept it. Whether they'd ever be like friends again, I doubt. But but I think that Jeff would quit talking bad about him. I think he would like respect all that. So,
yeah, I agree.
So we're bringing it back to like
the beginning,
episode 2, when I was talking about Chappel and everybody wanted to come for me. I saw another interview today, and I just wanted you to watch it and us talk about it. Okay.
Is it a new interview?
That I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think so.
I did not grow up famous. Like, I very much was not famous until this year. So I understand like how nerve-wracking and how I don't want to bother you, but I'm going to come up and say how much I love you, because like I understand where people are coming from. I know they don't know how unsafe it makes me feel. And I know they don't know how embarrassed I am now that I'm famous, but they shouldn't be surprised if I say no to a photo.
So that just really gave me vibes of when I said that she worked 10 years for this and then got it and then hates it. And I'm like, are you kidding?
Let me watch it again.
Okay.
Why does her saying that she's embarrassed to be famous bother me so bad?
I know. Like, and the top comment on this is basically what I was saying in episode 2, but they just put it in really good words. So I wanted to read that off as well. Someone said, say, for example, a person worked at a coffee shop and then they told you they didn't like interacting with people, but they work at a coffee shop. That's how I feel about this.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you can be a pop girl and like have this persona and like do concerts and like have fans and not really indulge yourself in the lifestyle, but like, I'm sorry, but if you're headlining the Gov Ball where you know like 10,000 people are gonna show up just to see you, or I think it was a lot more than that, but like you're headlining like Coachella.
Yeah.
You are
like, people are gonna know who you are and people are gonna want to take a picture.
Yes.
And like, that's okay. You can say, like, she can say no. She has the right to say no, but it's like, she shouldn't expect that fans aren't gonna ask her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's almost setting this precedence in all these interviews that like, if you're a fan of me, you should know, do not ask me for a picture because I'm not doing it.
It's also like one of the benefits to that much fame and success is money. You have a lot of money and you now have the ability to not be in the public if you don't want to be noticed. Like, Taylor Swift is the most famous person on planet Earth, and if she can disappear for a year, you could probably go to a coffee shop and nobody know that you're there.
Yeah.
Like, I know that that's not easy and it's asking a lot, but if you really didn't want people to see you or know who you are, like, you could hide yourself and you could avoid. Chappel's not the kind of person where like, if she wasn't in her outfit and like had
like
on
drag makeup and everything.
Yeah, if she had on like a normal girl outfit, a hoodie and a hat, I wouldn't look twice at her.
No.
I'm sure someone might notice.
Yeah.
But like, you sign up for that.
Like, literally in every interview, she's always like, I just like blew up so much. I never would have imagined this and whatever. It's like, you were working on this for 10 years. Like, yeah, you blew up really fast in 1 year, like to where you couldn't have imagined
but before that
level.
She was on tour with Olivia Rodrigo.
And yeah, and you were doing this in hopes. When you're a musician and you're working on this for 10 years, you know that she was like at home some days and she was like, one day this is going gonna blow up and like I'm gonna practice my autograph. You know that she had those thoughts and stuff. So it's like you were working towards this, and now you have it and you hate it, and it just kills me. I'm like, get it together.
It also makes me think, because I'm a huge fan of Chappel. Like, I absolutely love her music. Would go see her on tour, but like if I saw her on the street, I would be like, I do not want to talk to her. Like, and that is maybe. I mean,
that's what she's
she
trying to
wants.
do. But yeah.
But I just like, it's just so like, I don't know, like, let me be your parasocial friend.
Like, what's it hurt? It really doesn't hurt anything.
Because it's like, I relate to your art. Like, you're a human being writing the art. Be a human being behind the art. Don't be like, don't talk to me.
Yeah. It's like so weird.
Letting everyone like into your world and then like pretending like you don't exist behind it is weird.
Yeah. That's like, I really like her music and stuff, but I just feel like, you know, a lot of times they'll show clips of like different celebrities in like interviews and whatever, and it'll be like, we made the right person famous.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, when I watch Chappel,
She's
I'm like,
embarrassed by it.
Yeah, I'm like, we made the wrong person famous. I have fear.
I don't know. Her saying that she's like embarrassed by her fame is cringy to me. It's like, you wear drag on stage.
It's giving, I'm a hipster deep down, and
yeah,
I feel too mainstream. Like,
yeah, like I don't know. That is very bizarre, and like I'm not hating on her. I love her music.
Yeah, no, like catch me at her concert if she has one coming here.
Yeah, I just don't understand her, I guess.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting, and so we talked about that.
Do you want to hit on our last crazy topic?
Yeah. So this is a crazy conspiracy theory.
Like,
I don't think
it's definitely alleged. Definitely.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. So I was watching Sloan, not your daughter.
Yeah.
The YouTuber. If y'all know who we're talking about. He had a request to discuss this crazy conspiracy. So the conspiracy is there's this girl that died in a hotel. Her and her friends went to a party. She died because it seemed like from the security cam footage that she was like super intoxicated.
Walked into a freezer.
It looked like she got lost in the hotel, like couldn't find her way out. She walked into a freezer.
It's the Kanneka Jenkins case, if you guys are like crime people, because this case is like all over the place.
Yeah. Well, there's no security footage of her like walking into the freezer, so her family really believes that someone could have hurt her and put her in there. Well, she accidentally walked into the freezer. She froze to death, allegedly. Like, I mean, I guess we don't really know. But the conspiracy is the kitchen. She walked into an industrial kitchen. That's where the freezer was that she walked into. And the kitchen was a part of this restaurant that was owned by Selena Gomez's uncle.
Okay.
That's a crazy detail. Like,
that is like a really random.
And that could be completely untrue. Like, y'all, this is the corner of the internet. Like, if you've made it this far into the podcast, like we're in a specific corner of the internet.
Yeah, this is like that when you're on TikTok at 2 a.m. and you're going down the rabbit hole and people are like the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Like and then like there'll be those TikToks where they're like the lamp is shining or whatever. Like, you know.
Well, Kanneka died at the hotel in this freezer that was owned by Selena Gomez's uncle the week of Selena's kidney transplant. And they're saying how weird it is that Selena needed a kidney. Someone died in her family's freezer that could possibly give her a kidney, even though there was a public exchange of the kidney between her and her friend Francesca.
Yeah.
This is the craziest story.
But I've also, to combat that, I've seen theories that, what's her friend's name?
Francesca?
I've seen theories that Francesca, like the kidney failed or something when they did the surgery.
Okay.
And so then they needed a plan B, and this was their plan B.
The whole story of Francesca and Selena, like their friendship fallout, is really crazy too, because like to me, Francesca's feelings were so like, it seemed like Francesca had an issue with Selena continuing to party and continuing to drink after she like saved her life or whatever.
Yeah.
Which like I understand. Like I probably would feel the same way, because all that she really wanted was for Selena to be healthy.
And it's like she lost something, but Selena gained something, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm sure the recovery was not fun.
Yeah.
Like for that.
Not that I think she should have given her the kidney with like strings attached to it, but it's like she wanted her friend to be healthy. That was the whole goal of, she wanted to save her. And if Selena wasn't like taking care of herself, I could see it being like super frustrating. But then like in an interview, like Selena called Francesca like the girl who gave her the kidney, like they weren't even friends anymore. It was just sad and like weird. But to me, like there's too many feelings involved with Francesca and the way that she like looked at how Selena lived her life and kind of judged her for it. Like there's no way she doesn't have her kidney.
Yeah, I definitely think that this is a hoax. It's just a conspiracy, like,
yeah, it was
whatever.
just a really crazy story that I watched this week, and I was like, that is so far-fetched.
Yeah, it's like, it's interesting to talk about because, like, what if?
Yeah.
It is such a coincidence that it's Selena's uncle, though.
It is.
Like, that is crazy. That's a crazy little tidbit.
And then someone said that there was some other part of the conspiracy in Sloane's video where they were like, someone at the hospital was like owned by someone in Selena's family too. And I think that part just ended up not being true at all. Like, it was completely made up. Like, it was just so dramatic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just thought that was a fun little tidbit. But I think that's all the topics that we have for this week.
Yes. There wasn't too much crazy serious except the Wendy Williams takeaway.
Yeah.
Everybody remember to go
help Wendy.
Yes, free Wendy.
The next time that you see us, it will be after Grammy Sunday. I don't know exactly what our upload schedule is going to be. We'll still do our normal Monday upload, but we are going to either have a bonus live stream or a bonus episode for the Grammys.
Yes, it's going to be a fun time, so you should definitely tune in.
So the Grammys are Sunday, February 2nd, and if you guys follow us on Instagram, we will upload a screenshot of our Grammys like game sheet that we're going to be playing if y'all want to like play it yourself. I'll put it on our Instagram story, and we are going to have the bonus episode up, but because we normally upload our episodes on Mondays, I might wait a day to put the bonus Grammys episode out. I don't know. Like, we'll see. Just follow us and we'll keep you updated on what's going on.
That means you definitely need to subscribe so that you know when we put that video out.
Yep, and we are Glitter Gel Pen Pod on YouTube, Instagram. We're on TikTok too, but
it's not our favorite platform.
Enter at your own risk.
Yeah, we get a little unhinged over there.
But that's it. Rate us 5 stars on Apple and Spotify as well. It helps us go out to new audiences and grow every time we put all this. We put a lot of effort in.
Yeah, we do. We do. So hopefully you guys can help us blow up one day, right?
Yeah, we're the only logical people on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, but I just feel like we are. So
yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next Monday with a new episode.
Yes. TTYL.
Bye.
She's 21, not a savage, but she got a little